70, okay. Wollen wir hier ein bisschen. Jetzt sind wir. Okay. Ja, nicht.
Is this an answer from this world?
Okay. So, Jagdquartier. Und schon. Was ist da wieder? Mach ich später. Die nehmen wir mit, weil wir sie brauchen.
Hold on. Please display your invitation letter or permit. Glupov does not accept meeting requests without a prior appointment. You'll have to apply per the advertised booking process and wait until your invitation letter is issued. Might I ask who you're hoping to visit? Another one who thinks the rules don't apply to them. I don't understand why people think they can just talk their way in here. You don't just show up and land a meeting with the Harbinger. But I have to go through the motions for protocol's sake. Honestly, it's such a waste of time asking when I already know what the answer's gonna be. Wait a moment. I'll pass on your message. If Child is unavailable, you'll have to go through the proper procedure. Lord Child is a busy man. He's probably not in Glupov at the present. If I were you, I'd cut your losses. No point in waiting any longer. Even if you two are old friends as you claim, please understand that the Fatui Harbingers are often busy with their official duties. They tend not to stay in Glupov for extended periods. Next time, stick to the rules. You'll make life easier for both of us, Greetings, Lady Marionette.
I'll take care of our guest here. It's his first time in Snezhnaya, so it's no surprise that he doesn't know the rules yet. I trust no choice words have been exchanged. No misunderstandings I should be aware of.
No, Lady Marionette. No incidents to report. Whew, that was a close call. Good thing I played it cool.
Is that right? Good to know. Wait, where's Paimon? Under the weather? That's hard to imagine. She's always buzzing with energy. I take it she's still adapting to the climate. Happens to a lot of people. It's even colder here than in Nodcry. Has she seen a doctor? I can get you one if you need. All right then. Well, let me know if you run into any other problems. Why else? I was just about to sit down for some much-needed tea time when I heard that an old friend of Tartaglia's had shown up outside. No appointment, nothing. And, as obnoxious as it may be to show up uninvited at Glupov, I couldn't help but take pity on the poor soul who was waiting outside in vain. So I had no choice but to abandon my freshly brewed piping hot tea and come to see this mystery guest for myself. Well, I felt our time working together in Nodcry warranted some courtesy. I couldn't exactly let you freeze to death out here in the wind. Unfortunately, I can't invite you inside either. The rules of Glupov wouldn't allow it, and as a harbinger, I have to lead by example. On the plus side, Snezhnograd actually has some class, unlike Nasha Town. Torchlight Books has a very nice selection of teas and cakes, so we can catch up there. Your treat, of course. Because I already wasted one perfectly good cup of tea today. That's why. I've ordered for the both of us. No objections, I assume. I'm sure you trust my taste. Okay, let's get down to business. I'm guessing you don't actually have any urgent business with Tartaglia, per se. You just want information, right? Wanna take a guess? Of course you'd say that. You shouldn't underestimate Counselor Tartaglia, you know. That's right. I'm sure you've heard of the Snezhnograd Vecha by now. Well, he's busy preparing some paperwork for their next meeting. They'll be discussing yet another extension to Project Stuja. It's basically all anyone cares about in Nevecha these days. Yeah, he's more of the shoot first, ask questions later sort, isn't he? It all started with a very detailed letter that Capitano left for the jester, Piero, before leaving for Natlan. In that letter, he detailed the future arrangements for his subordinates. All of his key people were reassigned to Tartaglia. I guess he'd already prepared to leave us for good all the way back then. But Piero didn't reveal the contents of the letter until the events in Natlan had concluded. That was his reaction, too. Why me? With a bewildered look on his face. He'd always assumed Capitano looked down on him. He was a man who kept his thoughts to himself and barely spoke to him the whole time they'd known each other. But he occasionally brought Tartaglia along to my tea parties back in the day. So to the rest of us, it was clear that Capitano had quite a lot of respect for his young comrade. By the rest of us, I mean my tea party regulars. Arlecchino, Rosaline, and... actually, not Columbina. She was probably oblivious to it. Anyway, then the Liues situation happened. Normally, it took a lot to get under Capitano's skin, but that time he was furious. It's not really my place to talk about it, though. You can ask Tartaglia about it sometime. Basically, Tartaglia probably had the wrong idea about Capitano all along, right up until Piero revealed the letter he'd left behind. Capitano believed that despite Tartaglia's immaturity, he showed great potential. Plus, he possessed a kind of purity rarely seen among members of the Fatui. Yeah, it's one of the few things that I'd agree those two have in common. But there's one other reason why Capitano chose Tartaglia to assume command of his troops. He knew that after he was gone, several of the others would swoop in on his army like vultures, with the ones who stood to benefit the most being the rooster Pulcinella and Regrator Pantalone. Once they divided Capitano's troops between them, they'd be more powerful than ever. No one would be able to stop them. So, you can see why Capitano chose to hand that letter to Piero, right? Exactly. Piero also needed to back a harbinger as soon as possible. And, all things considered, Tartaglia was the best choice. Even though Tartaglia has had the support of Northland Bank for a long time, he and Pantalone are ultimately not cut from the same cloth. I'd say Capitano made a good judgment call. Anyone else caught in this situation would probably feel like they'd been hung out to dry. His best course of action will be to distance himself from any shady business, while still maintaining friendly relations with Pantalone, but seeking Pulcinella's support at the same time. What's the point in having a tea party if you don't spill a little tea? Besides, none of this is confidential anyway.